Hello and welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, International Success Coach. And here at Wealthy Mind, we love to help you create and maintain a wealthy mind. And today we have Eric with us. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Misty.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's nice
Good.
to be here.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you with us. I'm grateful for you taking the time to record an episode and share your wealth of knowledge with us about Bitcoin. So, Eric, please share with the audience your full name and what do you do?
Eric Runge. I live in Madras, Oregon, and I run a registered investment advisor where I focus on Bitcoin, helping people integrate Bitcoin and educating them on it. We have some other services too surrounding AI and public market strategy, but the biggest focus is being a bridge for people who don't want to become experts in Bitcoin, but may want to learn it, allocate towards it, but do it in a responsible and safe way.
hmm And straight away, that makes me think about wealth managers, financial advisors, whichever title they carry. Not all of them want to become an expert in Bitcoin, so I can appreciate that you might become a valuable resource for the wealth managers out there.
I think so. That's what I aim to be is a trusted resource. It was different a couple of years ago when the ETFs were not out. Financial advisors really weren't thinking much about Bitcoin. But now that the ETFs are out, I think a lot of clients have questions. I mean, a lot of retail money is pouring into Bitcoin via the ETFs. And so
Mhm.
that's just everyday people wanting to put it inside of their IRAs or their 401ks or whatever. And financial advisors, Bitcoin is it's an asset class that it doesn't coddle you. And it can be sort of intimidating, I think, for people because what the
Mhm.
heck is it? A lot of people think that it's a casino asset, a trading asset, and it really isn't. It deserves consideration outside of all of the rest of cryptocurrency as its own asset. But you have to study it to know what it is. Warren Buffett said, "Invest in what you know." Everybody knows the S&P 500. Bitcoin takes some special. I'm going to call it sort of special training, and I happen to love Bitcoin and want to talk about
Mhm.
it all day, every day to people. So yeah, that's why it's important, I
Okay.
think, for financial advisors.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. So you said a term ETF.
Yeah, that's a fancy way of saying exchange traded fund. And an exchange traded fund is sort of like a mutual fund. It just trades, mutual fund settles at the end of every day, and
hmm
an ETF trades midday. There's a few more differences, but it's just a super fast mutual fund, is a way to think about it.
So Bitcoin is an ETF.
No, you can put Bitcoin, think of an ETF as a wrapper uh, around anything. You can put gold in an ETF. There are gold ETFs. You can put the S&P 500 in an
Okay, gotcha.
ETF.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So you can
that's right.
put Bitcoin in an ETF.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. We want to make sure to explain to the listeners, right? So they're not asking all these questions of what does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah. It's like a Bitcoin mutual fund. That's a way to think of it.
Okay, that makes more sense. That can register in a lot of people's ears. All right. Very
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
So in my world, I know a lot of wealth managers, and I've had a lot on the podcast. And, given the nature of the podcast, they circulate a lot. So I appreciate the fact that you want to be that bridge for them because even if they were interested in understanding Bitcoin to the depths that you do, like, do they have time? And for me, I love bringing other advisors into the mix with my clients when it's appropriate because I don't want to become an expert in their field. Do I have the time? No. So I don't have the desire to become an expert in their field, nor do I have the time to do it. So it's really important for me to set the tone for that kind of camaraderie and building a team around clients. And if the wealth managers are open to something like that, somebody like you can be that trusted resource, a very valuable resource where you become an additional advisor on the Bitcoin space for their clients. Of course, you would have to have some sort of agreement with them so you're not stealing their clients on the wealth management side. But right?
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that's an interesting point that you raise because our space is deeply commoditized. There's nothing in principle that separates one wealth manager from another, in the sense that we all have access to all the same products and
mhm,
services. And so that term itself might be offensive to some wealth managers because there are some who still think that they are separate from every other wealth advisor, and they're not, and I'm not.
mhm,
Everybody says we do customized financial planning. We take your goals and objectives into account, and we're different from everybody else. Um, I think wealth managers who have thought about that will see what I mean.
mhm,
Bitcoin is the thing, maybe one of the things that can set a wealth manager apart from another wealth manager. But
mhm.
here's the problem: is that because the space is so commoditized, our industry tends to be really locked down and sort of cutthroat competitive because
Right.
that's what happens to an industry that's commoditized. And so to become a trusted advisor to an advisor for Bitcoin requires a shift of thinking. Like you said, there has to be trust that I'm not coming in to steal people's clients. We have a structure and setup to where I couldn't steal a client even if they use me as a Bitcoin advisor. But point being is that Bitcoin is a very unique asset. There are really no proper categories yet for Bitcoin. You can't really understand it like a stock. It doesn't
Mhm,
really fit the new gold model. It's its own category. And
mhm.
in understanding it in itself, it sort of decommoditizes the industry. And I hope cuts competition down and helps advisors to work more collaboratively than competitively with each other.
Yes, I love that word collaboratively. Definitely. And because you're showing up as an expert in the Bitcoin space, it's opening the door for those who do want to be uh, less competitive, less guarded, and more of, you know what? Like Misty said, I don't have time to become the expert on this Bitcoin thing.
Yes.
So let's dive
Who, not
into,
how.
right, let's dive into who can help me with this? Can Eric help me with this? And
Yes.
how is my client list protected? You said that there's no way that you can steal their clients, which is really freaking cool. So um, that is awesome. If you can give an insurance policy like that to them and say, hey, you are insured that you are going to keep your client. I am just here to be the Bitcoin bridge. That is, in my opinion, a very needed additional advisor that a lot of people are going to want in their back pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely. I mean, nobody.
you've got a lot
Mhm.
of opportunity in front of you.
I think so. I think so. It's a blue ocean. Yeah, I mean, everybody can, like the best piano teachers have a coach. Yeah, piano performers have a coach. Pro athletes all have a coach. The best advisors, because nobody can see the back of their own head. It's a collaborative world. Operating in a silo in a sort of competitive sense just is worse for everybody. And if we can operate in a collaborative sense where we can help each other, I bring my expertise to bear, and Bitcoin changes people, and I have a lot of expertise there. I have a team of advisors in my wealth management division, and they've helped me a ton. So
Hmm.
the learning never stops for open-minded people, and it's not just advisors; it's anybody. That's just a mindset, really.
Yeah, let's dive more into the mindset of shifting from competitive to collaborative.
Yeah. Well, where I first learned the concept was I read the book called Who Not How, and I I didn't teach myself that concept. I got it in a mastermind community, and that was a book by Benjamin Hardy, and it really just outlines that instead of figuring out how to do everything, which is really inefficient, just
Hmm.
bring in a who
Hmm.
already is an expert and let them
Hmm.
do their thing. They do something very narrow, and that frees me up to do something very narrow, which is my expertise. So now I don't have to be an admin and a fund manager and a client manager. I just do the one thing that I'm really, really good at. For me, that's talking Bitcoin, going to in person networking, getting on podcasts. It's not moving papers around. It's not admin. So it's the
Hmm.
same concept when you hire an admin. You just are acknowledging, hey, I don't have the time to do this, and I don't want to. And maybe I'm just not gifted and built to do admin. I bring in a professional admin and I go, how does she do that? I couldn't do it even if I did have the time.
Right?
And she's like, "Oh, that was easy." Well, that's who, not how, right there. She's an expert in that, and that really shaped my categories of thinking. People are built and called differently, every single one of us. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of the diversity principle. So find somebody who's an expert. That's how I think of it.
Mm. I so appreciate your perspective on this. I love masterminds. I have two masterminds of my own. So they're on my website. People can find them on the mastermind page on my website. One is growth strategies, one is exit strategies. And there is a bit of education that I have to provide people within the mastermind groups of how masterminds function. There is no competition here. We're all here to collaborate with one another, to use the collective wisdom that is in the room, the resources. I mean, we're not taking people's money from them. Yes, there's dues for the masterminds, but the other members aren't being like, hey, give me your money. No, we're using our mental resources. We're using our individual expertise to help move the business forward or exit the business. So
Yes.
I love masterminds and I love not knowing everything. And it's
Mm.
amazing. It's amazing how much your world opens up when you're willing to think differently about the business world and about how you're showing up. Am I going to show up competitive or collaborative? They're two different worlds. I love the collaborative world. I love the opportunities that are created, not just for myself, but all of my mastermind people, my clients, my podcast guests, anybody I come in contact with, I have a very collaborative approach to it. So it opens up possibilities and opportunities that wouldn't be there otherwise if I'm like super competitive and trying to control everything and like trying to put my business on a little island. You're limited in your opportunities, and I prefer to be in a space where I have unlimited opportunities. So, in my opinion, it is through the collaborative mindset and approach to business that does create that.
Yeah, I agree.
Wonderful. So, how did you get started in all this?
Well, I was teaching music here in Oregon. And after just a few short years, it became painfully apparent that I was not a match for teaching, and the public school system did not like me one single bit. And so I didn't care about that. I cared about trying to get into business at some level. I'm a third generation business owner. And so I looked in the financial services industry, and I don't know why I was drawn to it. Something was just fascinating about it,
Mm,
and got hired in that industry. What was really interesting about that was I was only 27, 28 years old at the time. I'm 49 now. I had not the wisdom that I do today to spot an organization that was basically, how do you want to call it? Whatever the word is for when they extract stuff from you, sort of extract your labor, extract your time, view you as almost sort of a worker bee to put money in their pockets. And I think a lot of the sales industry is like that. But they don't view humans as humans. They view them as dollar signs, I think, or units, sort of walking around. Anyway, that was the
mm,
company that I started for in 2005. Even then, I had no idea what the word commoditized even meant back then. But the competition, it was just a bloody red ocean in the sense that there was one seal for every 10 sharks. And so
hmm
intuitively, I could see that, hey, the stuff that they're telling me to do is not working, at least for me, to call certain types of people.
hmm
They specialize in public school teachers to start up 403Bs, which is like a teacher's version of a 401k. Um, I just saw this is not going to work for me. And so I actually printed out the entire phone book for Madras, Oregon, which is the town where I now live again, and just cold called it from top to bottom. And that worked really well for me. Um, I, I also found a list of private school teachers, and nobody was calling them. So I'm like, I got carte blanche. This is a total blue ocean. There's 10 seals for every shark rather than the other way around.
Mm,
And so I just intuitively, naturally steered around the sort of status quo. What they were saying worked. I wasn't skeptical. I just was like, yeah, well, it's not working for me. So I trusted my own reality, my own experience, and
Hmm.
just went with what worked for me. And for me, that's always been the thing that feels like an adventure. They used to put our points up on the board, and you'd be compared to the top reps. And you'd have to see, yeah, I only put up 6,300 points this weekend. This guy put up 63,000. That was demotivating to me. What I cared
Mm,
about was competing against myself. And that was where the fun was. So yeah, and I don't think they liked me very well, but
that's okay.
they also, yeah, I didn't care about that. But they also
Y-
didn't want to let go of me because I was a top producing rep for
mm,
my tenure level. So yeah, that's just kind
yeah.
of the start of how I got started, and just I just did my own thing.
And I appreciate that. It's a trailblazer trait, which is how I function as well. And
Yeah,
what may work for others may not work for me, and that's okay. I cut my own path, blaze my own trail, and it just works. So
it
I
works because
appreciate
that's
it.
capitalism.
I
Yeah, I mean that's
appreciate
capitalism.
it. Yeah. So there's this concept that you keep bringing up, and I'm very familiar with it, and I love it, and I teach it to my people as well. You said blue ocean and
Yeah,
red ocean. So let's fill in the
yeah.
audience on what does that mean? If they're not aware of the red ocean, blue ocean concept, what is that?
So okay, the way I view it, it's what I said, but I'll expand on it. It's in a red ocean. There's one seal for every 10 sharks. So the ocean is red. It's just a bloody, it's a mess. That's what I mean by commoditized in my industry. In a blue ocean, there's 10 seals for every shark. So it's not been tapped into yet. It's a totally untapped market. Another way of viewing it is seeing opportunities before anybody else sees them. So remember the movie The Big Short? I don't know if you've seen it, but I bet all your financial advisor audiences have.
Mhm.
Um, Michael Burry saw that the housing market was absolutely going to collapse, and he took a load of heat for it. Uh, and he stayed with his convictions, and he was right. And he
Mhm.
shorted the housing market when almost nobody else was. Total blue ocean. Same as the garage band hedge fund guys, et cetera. That's how I think about it. Now, I think of Bitcoin as a blue ocean in the sense of there's very little competition in the financial advisory space
Mhm.
for being a Bitcoin RIA like I am. So I can announce what I'm doing right here on your show. And I'm not
Mhm.
even worried because no advisors are going to want to become a Bitcoin expert and
Right.
geek out about it like me. Right. So
Yes,
I really don't care. It's
totally.
a total blue ocean.
It is a blue ocean for you. So the way that I
Yeah.
see the blue ocean, red ocean concept is that blue ocean is full of opportunity and the
Yes.
red ocean is saturated. So
That's right.
it's for me, I love to function in a blue ocean where there's plenty of opportunity. There's not a lot of sharks or seals or blood in the water. It's
Yep.
it's blue, right? So how do you position yourself in a saturated industry into a blue ocean? You have to find something that is unique that sets you apart. And you've done that. I've done that. So it's awesome that you've done that as a wealth manager. And it intrigues me because I'm around wealth managers all the time. And there's a couple that I know that set themselves apart by being exit certified. So they are SEPA certified in order to handle the exit strategies for their clients. So that's one way that wealth managers can set themselves apart. But this one, you have created an entirely blue ocean where there's like zero blood in the water. So,
Yes.
and it's also a double-edged sword because in a blue ocean where it's a complete blue ocean, you have an uphill battle of creating trust because you are doing something new. That is, that's a double-edged sword, and it's one that I've dealt with over decades. Is Well, I don't present myself as a business coach. I present myself as a success coach for business owners, which means I do business coach and life coach and mash it together. And they had a baby and popped out me, success coach.
Mhm.
So people are like, what's a success coach? And that's how I explain it to them. And I tell everyone that business coaching falls flat after a while because if the business coach is not addressing the gray areas and the people, it's not going to continue. If you're only addressing the black and whites and the logical parts of business and the strategy and maybe some implementation, maybe it can stretch to a year, maybe. But I have clients that are with me for years and years and years because I incorporate all the dynamics of business and people into it, which you have to. In order to have true success in business, you have to be able to see yourself in this, and you have to be able to see the other roles, the people, and how they play roles in the business and how it affects everything. And what are those gray areas? Because the control brain would love everything to be black and white. Well, on paper, this should work. Well, are we black and white? No. And since businesses are still run by humans, we have to look at the gray areas in order to really figure out how to make the business work and how to get it to move forward successfully year after year after year after year. So that is a concept that I have to explain to people on a regular basis because I'm not simply a transactional black and white checklist business coach. That is a very saturated industry. And I can tell you that most of the business coaches or consultants out there, I can partner with them on jobs and with clients because I know how to compartmentalize some of my abilities and complement what they're doing and handle the people development side of things and the leadership development, where they're maybe handling the black and whites and maybe putting some systems in place and maybe doing this and maybe doing that. And then I come in and say, okay, let's make sure that the owners or CEO's growth is on par with the business growth. Let's make sure that we're creating the right culture. Let's make sure that we're training the business and the employees with actual seeing the psychology behind business, right? So I can cut through a bunch of maybe 2, 3 years of headaches with decades of experience of studying business psychology and being able to identify, well, think about it this way. So, example, I have a client who is in a saturated industry. She's a doctor. So, she was trying to figure out how to present her business in a way that would get attention. And I'm like, well, what is your pitch when you're out and about at networking events? And she gave me her pitch, and I was like, nobody's listening. You're not breaking through the daily programming that's in somebody's brain because you're saying things that they've already heard and they're tuning you out immediately. Their brain is just like, wah, 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 not listening to this doctor's pitch, right? And I said, let's use some psychology here to understand how to disrupt their normal thought process and get them to pay attention to you and listen to you. So I was like, here, we need to present you as the old school kind of doctor that wants to know your dog's name and like goes to your kid's graduation and will come to you when you're like really, really, really sick, don't need a doctor's appointment, not going to charge you for it, but they'll just stop by and make sure that you're okay and maybe bring you some flowers or take you out to lunch or, something like that. So I asked her to break outside of her own mold and present her business that way. And within an hour, she did it at a huge event and it was so well received. And she came up to me afterward and she was like, it worked. Thank you so much. I'm like, that's because you disrupted the people's thought process. You presented your business in a way that made them, huh? It like shifted them and made them think and made them curious and ask questions within their own head. But also, you're presenting yourself in a way that modern medicine doesn't. So it was very intriguing for a lot of people. And I told her that's what we need to create is the intrigue and the disruption of people's thought processes. And she did it, nailed it. Awesome. Right. So
Makes sense.
that's how that is just one of like a trillion examples of how psychology plays into business.
Love it.
Yeah. So you are going to be a wonderful resource, in my opinion, for wealth managers out there. So if we have wealth managers that are listening and want to reach out to you, I know that you would love to have a conversation with them. If they're in your area, you can go local or you can do Zoom. Zoom is a wonderful thing these days. So I just want to put that out to any of the wealth managers that are listening or people that are listening who are not wealth managers and they would like you, Eric, to connect with their wealth manager and bring that into their conversation, I think that's a really great resource as well. And of course, if you're looking for people that you want to chat with about Bitcoin, who is your ideal client directly?
A direct ideal client is anybody with 5 million to a billion in liquid net worth or investable money.
Okay, cool. So high net worth and family office people.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, sweet. All right. So any of you guys listening, if you want to talk with Eric directly about Bitcoin, you can do that as well. So where can people find you? What is one way that they can get in touch?
So my website has my book for free. You can download the PDF, and my book is called Bitcoin in the Family Office, an introduction for the ultra affluent. That is not just for the ultra affluent, but it's definitely framed for their particular needs. That's at my website, familyofficebitcoin.com. There's all kinds of other resources there too for free, but that's really the key most valuable resource. So familyofficebitcoin.com.
So what if wealth managers want to get in touch with you and have a Zoom chat? Is there a way that they can reach out to you through your website?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little pop-up that shows up and they would reach out the same way. Just download the book. Whether or not you want to read it is okay. And that'll send me your info and then I can reach back out. It should be noted too that my third book is actually going to be Bitcoin for wealth managers.
Oh,
The first
very
book is
cool.
Bitcoin for family offices. Yeah, first book, Bitcoin for
Mhm.
family offices, but wealth managers need that bridge in our language with our compliance concerns, et cetera. So yeah.
Super cool. That's a fun book that you have coming out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you should be. And all the wealth managers out there should be looking forward to it as well. So, um, are you on LinkedIn?
I am. You could find me Eric Runge. My last name is spelled Runge. And yeah, you'll find my profile. I stand out pretty well. Just type my name in Bitcoin and you should probably find it.
Okay, good. That gives them a direct way to contact you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
DM
yeah.
me on LinkedIn. I'm easy to get hold of.
Okay, perfect. I love that. So, what is probably the most valuable bit of information that you would like to share with the audience about Bitcoin today?
I would say it's not even info. It's the opposite. It's seek wisdom, seek info. Study Bitcoin. That's what I would say. Um, the in the book of the Proverbs, it says in all of your getting, get understanding. So as you're going
Mm,
out there to get silver and gold and money, which um, the Bible never condemns, but it does say before that, get wisdom. And I would say it's this very similar principle of study Bitcoin because when you study it, it changes you. And in that getting, you get a whole host of other things that you'll
mm.
only find once you start studying it. And if Bitcoin is completely abhorrent to you, then you've probably turned off the podcast already. So this doesn't apply. But for those who are curious, the study of Bitcoin will open up a whole new world. And it's very
Mm,
important for either your own wealth management portfolio or your financial advisory practice. So I would say study Bitcoin and then give me a call and we'll chat.
that's awesome. I love wisdom, so I'm a wisdom seeker myself, and it's more precious than gold. So wisdom is
That's
more
right.
precious than Bitcoin. Uh,
That's
but
right. It is.
for wisdom seekers, I think Eric is a good connection for you because, hey, great minds think alike, and you want to hang out with people that think in this similar way, not maybe the exact way, but similar. So
Yep.
seekers of wisdom are a different breed of people.
Agreed.
We're not just running on default programming. We actually want wisdom guiding us. So I'm one of
Yes.
those, check that box. But what do we
Love it.
do? So, what do we do when there's a fear of Bitcoin?
Well, the fear of Bitcoin is an understandable fear. It's new. Like I said before, there really is no current existing category for Bitcoin in people's minds. It's not like a stock, except it kind of is. It's not like gold, except it kind of is. And so that is going to naturally provoke fear. It's the fear of the unknown. It's the
Hmm.
fear of it's not tangible. You can't grab a hold of Bitcoin like you can grab the side of a house, yet somehow it still exists. But I would argue, okay, but math exists too. But you can't grab
Hmm.
a hold of math, yet we use it all the time. We're not afraid of math because we're familiar with math. So the lack of familiarity is the real thing. Now, that's what, again, that's why I exist is to help put it in, frame it in terms that people already understand. But if we think about the problem of money, money has a 5,000-year-old problem, and that's that it is physically manipulatable. So anything which is physical can be gotten a hold of and manipulated. That which is digital, some digital things can be gotten a hold of and manipulated too, like a digital photo, for
Hmm.
example. But Bitcoin is designed to be not manipulatable. It's designed to run on computer code, confirmed by math, and so that is something that money has desperately needed because that's let me kind of give you an example. In 1971, the US is 6 times more in debt than we have the gold reserves to back it up. So
Hmm.
Nixon goes on TV and temporarily suspends the United States dollar from the gold standard. It used to be that you could take a dollar and redeem it for gold. Nixon severs that link. And 50 plus years later, here we are still temporarily off the gold standard. So
Hmm.
from there, inflation became massive. Price increases is just a fact of life now. We go to the store, a gallon of milk is more expensive, and next year we all know it's going to be more expensive. And it doesn't matter who's president, Trump, Obama, Biden, Nixon, it doesn't matter. That's a massive problem. And Bitcoin was designed, but it's not an American problem. It's a worldwide problem since the history of the world. Money has
Hmm.
been manipulatable. And so Bitcoin was designed to solve that. And that takes some time to really get your head around. Like, there's a completely different way here. Well, it looks like there might be. So
Hmm.
that's what, in looking at sort of the fear of Bitcoin, don't be afraid of it. Study it, and you'll start to see, and hang out with people and talk Bitcoin, and you'll start to see why it's there, why it was designed, and what it might be able to do in the future.
Hmm. That's the best explanation I've ever heard, and I'm exposed to it often. So kudos to you. And here's something else that can help people with that fear. Square has just recognized it as a form of currency.
That's exactly right. So Square is Jack Dorsey, who is a huge Bitcoiner, and a lot of merchants have the Square app. What a lot of people don't know is that credit card fees are eating up businesses big time, especially like food service businesses that
Hmm.
already run on pretty narrow margins.
Hmm.
With Square, and I don't work for Square, I have no dog in this fight.
Me
They didn't
either,
pay me to
by the
say
way.
this. Yeah,
I
neither did you, but it's just a fact here. This is what Dorsey did. If you're a merchant, you can accept Bitcoin and you don't have to hold the Bitcoin. It will go from dollars to Bitcoin back to dollars by the time it hits your account, and you will bypass all your bank fees, all your credit card fees. So,
Mm,
yeah, payment rails, Bitcoin is payment rails. Very good.
that's amazing. So I can enable my clients to, because I use Square and Stripe, I use both of them. So
Okay.
two purposes. My standard invoice people are on Square, and I can make Bitcoin an option for payment. So then it will convert to
Yes,
dollars and then dollars into my bank account.
that's right. And you can offer them a discount to incentivize them because you're saving money, or you don't have to either way.
Or I just recoup those percentages that I'm paying for that other
That's
stuff, right?
that's right. It's your money. You can do what you want with it.
Huh.
But the
So
point is, the bank doesn't automatically get it. Ha, that's the point.
I like that we have one example of Bitcoin being an actual currency that we can use in a tangible way that makes sense to our brains. So I think
Yes,
the more that this happens, the more we will be able to accept it as a society and as a world.
that's right. The problem that people will run into is getting getting things up and running because it's harder to pay in Bitcoin, even on Square, than it is paying debit card because I know how to whip
Mm.
my debit card out and tap it. Okay, so that's really easy. There
Hmm.
are a couple of more steps with Square. I have to use maybe Cash App. I have to kind of know what I'm doing. It's not a nightmare set of steps, but it's a little bit harder. So there is more
Okay.
friction. Yes,
Okay.
but any business owner can educate themselves and put up a little sign and steps on here's how to do it. So that might be why somebody offers a 5% discount because, hey, I'll go through a few steps to get a discount, that sort of thing. It's not that
Mm-hmm.
hard, but it's a little harder.
Yeah. Hmm. It'll become easier as time goes on. It's
It
just
will. Yeah,
clunky. It's clunky right now.
that's right. The developer community is working on it and they continually upgrade. So yeah, I think 10 years ago, you had to be a complete expert to know how to open a Lightning wallet, create an invoice, scan a code. Now it's much easier.
Hmm. Hmm. Really cool. Well, I am super grateful for this conversation and thank you for bringing Bitcoin to light in a way that I haven't heard, which is
Mm.
quite nice.
My
Um,
pleasure. I want to make
it
the world a better place, and so does Bitcoin.
likewise. Let's go. Uh, wow. I'm just, I'm impressed. So, any closing words for the audience?
I think this is what I mean when I say there really is no category for Bitcoin. It is like it injects, I can tell you what it did for me. It injected hope and a newfound optimism into what I feel is a very gloomy system, a system where I go and have things become more expensive every week.
Hmm.
That's a problem. And everybody, rich, poor alike, feels it, but doesn't know why. But we all know in the back of our mind. And I don't care if you have $100 million and you can buy a gallon of milk and the price is no problem. You're still fighting that you can't keep your money in the bank for 5 years because you know the purchasing power is going to diminish and you're trying to hold on to that legacy of wealth. So Bitcoin is hope and optimism because it's a deflationary currency. It represents an alternative system. And historically, stuff has gotten cheaper compared to Bitcoin over time versus stuff compared to the US dollar has gotten more expensive over time. So there's hope there. And I
Hmm.
love that. I think the world is not meant to be drugged down, dragged down by inflation and what I call
Hmm.
theft of purchasing power. And so I don't think the creator of the world wants it that way for a long time. So the world is always sort of merging with new hope, new ideas, and then we get bogged down and then we come roaring back. That's how I see the history of the world. This is just the next chapter in my view.
Hmm. Okay. Bitcoin equals hope in Eric's mind. I think we're going to stop right there because that's a pretty good mic drop.
Okay.
Well, you guys, if you want to get in touch with Eric, he shared his website. It'll also be in the description. So make sure to reach out to him. Also find him on LinkedIn and just have a chat with him. Man, Eric knows his stuff. So just talking can't hurt anything, right? You can learn something and gain some wisdom, hopefully. So I want to say thank you all for being a wonderful, wonderful audience. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. We wouldn't be here without you guys. So keep being awesome. Keep your head up. We will continue to get through the craziness of this year. There's a lot of it going around. So please keep your head up, and there is hope. Even though things might look gloomy at times, there is always hope. That is one of the things that I count on in life is that change happens. So if you're in a shitty time, it's going to change. Just wait, give it a few minutes, give it a few days, maybe a couple months, but it will change eventually. So the cycles of life, right? There's always hope. More times are coming, beautiful times are coming, better things are on the horizon for all of us. So please do not lose hope. Please, please, please. It goes to really bad places, and we don't want to see that for any of you guys. So keep your head up, okay? All right. Thank you, Eric, for being with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Misty. It's been a pleasure.
Mm. All right, you guys, be a wonderful audience. And until next time, we will see you soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.